Welcome to Peter and Ruffy's football show here on STV. The main talking points on tonight's programme. The SPFL head back at Raith Rovers over their keeper crisis. Effie Ambrose and Brian McLean go straight into the Hibs squad after completing loan deals. And Dundee look to leave Dens Park. Yeah, just a few of the talking points on the programme tonight. Alan Ruff is alongside me, Peter Martin. I'm delighted to say Ayr United fullback Nicky Devlin is our boot room guest to talk Championship and much, much more. Well, first and foremost, the SPFL have hit back, Ruffy, at John Hughes and his comments last night after the defeat to Ayr United. Basically, Ryan Stevenson had to go in goal and he said it was a farce. They should have had the game postponed because of their keeper crisis. They've lost all three of them. Ryan Stevenson had to go in goal. But the SPFL said they had more than enough time to get an alternative in. They could have gone for an under-21 goalkeeper. They could have signed an out-of-contract any age goalkeeper. So they had options.
Yeah, they certainly did. I mean, they actually phoned me at 12 o'clock. But you're right, you know, there are, with the contacts that the Johns got and the club's got, you would have thought they would have been better going with a recognised goalkeeper. But again, you know, it seems to be, this week seems to be all about rules, and that is the rules. And you have to ask John Hughes why they didn't why he didn't think he'd enough time to get somebody. I mean,
yeah. Well, I'd heard that Logan Bailly and the likes of Rab Douglas, a few others that had been, tried along the way, but nothing came to fruition for them to put in last night. Ryan Stevenson, to be fair, made a save early on, but in the end, I don't think he was to blame for Farid El Alagui scoring the goal.
No, you're right. But again, as the SFA have said there, it's hard to believe in the amount of goalkeepers. I'm sure they must have goalkeepers on their books, or you just pick up the phone to clubs, you know, and see who's available. But John Hughes is the only one that can tell us, you know, why they had to go down that road.
Okay, Nicky, I was with your gaffer this morning. He felt as if Ayr United were damned if they do, damned if they don't in this one. Did you deserve the win?
I think probably in the end we probably did, yeah, deserve on the balance of play and stuff. There wasn't really many chances in the game, but we managed to take one of the ones we got. But it was, as you said, we're not going to get any credit for beating a team that never had a recognised goalie in, so we just kind of take 3 points and move on.
Yeah, and it's a big 3 points because, I looked at the game against St Mirren at the weekend that we were covering, and I thought a big win for St Mirren puts you under pressure, but you've responded. Yeah,
definitely. Saturday, St Mirren were, far better than us, deserved the 3 points, but with us winning last night, I think league table now's, we're on 25, then it's 26, 27, 27, 28, so it just drags a few more teams back into the mix, and we need to drag everyone in that we can.
Yeah, Falkirk, Dunfermline, Dumbarton, Dundee United, that's the league games on the horizon, but you've got the small matter of Hibs in the Cup.
Yeah, definitely. Cup games, it's something to take your mind off the league, and quarterfinals of the Scottish Cup, I don't think many folk would have said would have been there at the start of the season, so it's one of the games. It's not a free game because we want to go and win. We've got a good record there, but we'll take it as it comes. It's a good game to go and play, and hopefully full house at Easter Road will be a good game.
Yeah, give us your insight into how you've managed to. You just seem to have the Indian sign over Hibs this season.
Yeah, we just at Easter Road because at home they battered us 3-0, but at Easter Road we've done well. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe boys kind of raised their game, especially kind of going to bigger grounds. I don't know if that's part to play, but we've done well there, so hopefully Saturday again we can take another result.
Yeah, and Ruffy, Brian McLean and Effie Ambrose drafted in for Hibs.
Yeah, it just shows you again, we're talking about rules. Obviously Neil's a bit upset with everybody moaning about it, but if the rules are in place, then you use them. It's if you want to change the rules, change them. But I don't like the rule. 2 or 3 weeks ago we were talking about this new Braveheart, and encouraging young players through, to get more experience in games. I think that's hitting that in the head. There must be some young centre-halves at Hibs who thought they maybe get a chance and they're not going in. And I know why you wouldn't get a chance. It's an important game. You want to play experienced players, but it should be the same for everybody. Scrap the rule and let us see more young players get in the game.
Yep, of course, Effie Ambrose drafted in. You know, it's a very divisive character as far as football's concerned, but Neil Lennon knows all about him and says that anybody who's highly critical of him should basically belt up.
Well, he's a very good player. He's very fit. You know, he's got great sort of robustness about him. You know, he's always available to play, train. In my 4 years at Celtic, I don't think I ever came across him injured. He was really consistent for me. I know he's had a bit of a low period at Celtic over the last couple of years, but you never lose the quality. And I think he'll make us better. You know, he's got great pace, reads the game well, can head it, and he's a threat at set plays. Very comfortable on the ball. So to get him is a bit of a coup, really.
He's not a bad player, Ruffy. If anything, it's that concentration, one lapse that seems to be capitalised on at a certain level.
No, he's a real international player. You know, when he goes away to the African Cup, he's a star man, stick out in all the games that they play. And if you watch him as well with Celtic, he's got a bit of class. You know, he's very comfortable on the ball. He's just unfortunate. He's one of these players, when there's a mistake made in a high-profile game, it seems to be him. And that, as you say, that's lack of concentration. But apart from that, is everything Neil said there, comfortable on the ball. You know, he reads the game well. And I think he'll do well at Hibs.
Yeah. Do you boys get slightly miffed when Hibs are able to do that sort of thing and bring a couple of defenders in?
Obviously, it makes it difficult for everybody else. I mean, I know they've got 3 out injured and stuff, but the fact they can bring another 2 in kind of through the loan window. But as you said, the rules are there, and I mean, Neil Lennon's he's used it to the kind of best of his ability. He's brought in boys when he's needed to. And it's obviously it makes it harder. You know what I mean? You'd like to go there with them having a few injuries would probably help our situation. But listen, he's brought 2 boys in. One it's kind of internationally level, so it'll be difficult regardless.
Yep. St Mirren against Hibs tonight. Big one for St Mirren off the back of United's win, Ruffy.
Yeah, again, I mean, the St Mirren manager will be looking for an improvement game on game, obviously getting a good result in the Cup and then the good result there. And you would like to think that the place has been lifted a bit from where it was and all the doom and gloom. And now they'll be getting into games expecting to try and take something from the game. But it'll be a difficult one tonight, obviously. Hibs have got the game at the weekend, so it'll be interesting to see what kind of team he puts out.
Yep, if you read any newspaper, I think we're now getting to the point where every one of the tabloids is trying to say we told you first with regards to the Rangers manager, Ruffy. Suddenly we had a name that we were talking about last week, the Portuguese coach Pedro Caixinha. He's at Al Garrafa at the moment, a Qatari club. Alex McLeish, Gary Monk hasn't had any contact apparently, Gary Rowett, Derek McInnes, we've heard Tommy Wright, you know, so many of them in the mix. Yeah,
but it seems to be the ones that are getting the interviews are the ones that we should be concentrate on, and certainly I think it's good that Alex had an interview. I think he deserves that at least. And also, obviously, it depends which way the Rangers board want to go down. You know, obviously they're talking about the director of football. I think that role dictates what kind of manager you're going to pick.
Yeah, and as far as the game against St Johnstone, I just think they need to get somebody in quicker. And that decision needs to be made really soon, Ruffy. Not that one match makes a season, but it becomes easier to swallow if you can avoid, you know, for example, Graham Murty being exposed to the Celtic game. I know I've been harping on about it all week.
Yeah, you're right. It's results that speed it up. You know, if they were to go and win against St Johnstone and then go and win at the weekend, obviously that gives the board a wee bit more time. But every defeat puts everybody on the negative, and that's when people start shouting their heads off. And they need a win, you know, to give the board more time.
Would you like to see Alex McLeish as a director of football or as a coach?
I think Alex as a coach. I think Alex still got a lot to prove. You know, I think he had a reasonable record when he was at Rangers. He knows everybody that's there, and I think walking into the dressing room, he'll get the respect for the players. And yeah, I think he would do a good job.
Yeah, but in as quickly as possible.
Yes, if he's available, yeah.
Yeah, okay, we'll discuss that no doubt non-stop over the course of the next week or so until they eventually Rangers appoint a director of football and a new first team coach or manager. Alex McLeish, just one of the names in the frame, and I thought we'd make that our question for tonight. Have a look, cast your mind back to when Alex McLeish was last manager of Rangers Football Club. No problem, that question for you, Ruffy. You were on the mark when I put it to you early on.
Yeah, fortunately I read it this morning it was in somewhere, but no, I think the Rangers supporters are looking for a lift. You know, I think sometimes you're better getting somebody you know than somebody you don't.
Okay, what are the Motherwell fans looking for? If you again look at some of the shortlist apparent contenders on this one, you've got Stephen Robinson, who's already there. Owen Coyle's been named, Lee McCulloch, Jim Duffy, Alan Stubbs, Simo Valakari, all in the mix.
I think in this one, I think the boy Robinson will get it to the end of the season. I think he's very highly regarded. Obviously, that's why they brought him back again. Even when we was there the first time, we noticed that his organisation levels were superb on the park. So I think he's got enough people there, Faddy, obviously Stephen Craig in there, to see them to the end. But, you know, it's a difficult one, that one, you know, to see, for somebody to jump out there and go in. I think they need to decide, you know, if it's within the club or not. Sometimes you're better having people who the players know, and I think that's the way they'll go.
Yep. Mark McGee was sacked. Certainly a few of the people who were talking to me on Twitter last night more than happy with that decision. The players, Keith Lasley and Steve McManus, were a little bit more reflective on it and disappointed with the decision.
It's a results-driven business. Everybody knows how it works. So, like I say, I think the focus now, what's done is done.
Massive disappointment. You know, feel as if as a group we've let the manager down, to be honest. It's our responsibility now. We know we need to move on. Know it's the game that we're involved in. Just disappointment more than anything, to be honest. You know, the players take responsibility. We have not been playing to a level that has been enough to compete in this league. It's a very cutthroat division. If you're not at it, you know, as you see, there'll be the league table, the section that we're in. It is very tightly congested for a reason, because all the teams are evenly matched.
Nicky, you'll know better than anyone. Sometimes, you know, circumstances, injuries can go against a manager at a particular time, and then maybe players just get too used to a manager and don't respond.
It could be something like that at Motherwell, but you know, I mean, they've got a lot of experienced boys in there, so I wouldn't kind of imagine they would let that happen kind of in the dressing room. But you know, I mean, it's a good job for kind of whoever goes in. I've obviously been there myself in the past. It's a really good club. They've got, as I said, really good experienced pros, and I think they've kind of got two strikers in Moult and McDonald that, you know, I mean, will see them fine in the division.
Yeah, I'm glad you said that, because I've been trying to preach that to Ruffy for long enough, but he thinks they're gone with Hamilton. I was speaking to the Hamilton directors last night, Ruffy. They think they've got more than enough to see off your prediction.
Well, all credit to them. Again, they proved everybody wrong in a big night against Aberdeen. And these are the kind of results that will drag them out of the relegation zone, but they need to put 2 or 3 wins together to get them away, because obviously all the other teams have got a game of an advantage on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Give us your thoughts, guys, on Dundee looking to move away from Dens Park. This, again, for me, I know it's difficult because sometimes it's easy to comment on a club leaving, you know, and maybe looking to join forces with Dundee United. I think it's crying out for the two of them to share a stadium, but Dundee people will have none of that. There'll be a lot of passion involved.
Yeah, it's the rivalry, you know, and the history of both clubs, you know, and it's a difficult one. It seems, as you said, it's a sensible decision, but football don't make these sensible decisions. But I think Dundee United is getting a bit dreich, No, it's a Dundee word.
Well, I was going to say to you, that brought back memories of my old compadre Dick Donnelly there, Dreiken Dundee.
But they've done well, the modern stand. They just the old stand looks a bit, old.
Yeah.
And the other side looks even older. So
well, the strange thing is, Ruffy, there's Dundee have posted £500,000 losses, and the board have said that it's constantly just trying to keep Dens Park, up to a standard. It's not improving. It's just keeping it, that it passes regulation. There's United today have announced losses of £1.55 million.
Yeah, so it does seem the sensible thing, the route to go down. I think the Dundee owners have actually bought a large piece of land in Dundee, so they're looking ahead, to get the planning permission and to move. And it doesn't matter if you're a player, you want to play in a nice stadium, a modern stadium, where your training facilities round the stadium, and I think that's what they're trying to do.
Yeah, where do you guys train, Nicky, and what's the facilities like?
To be fair, we're really good. Monday and Tuesday we're at Lock-Inch, just off the motorway at Ibrox, which is brand new Astro pitch, which is really good. And Thursday night we're just in there down in a school, on the Astro pitch at the school, which is good. It's not the best. It's not as good as maybe the Monday one, Monday and Tuesday, but I mean, you got to just kind of make do with what you've got. So just the 2 Astro pitches we run.
Yeah. Okay. As far as a team that'll be well used to playing in a good pitch, it's certainly Hearts in their game, Ruffy, because they're taking on Ross County in a new pitch. There's been a fair bit of discussion over the players, the spirit responding to the manager Ian Carter. I think it's something like 4 wins in 13 games. But Andres Struna came out quite strongly yesterday ahead of this match tonight, backing the players and the manager.
We don't want to be in situations like this. Now, about reasons, I cannot discuss publicly, but I can say that in the dressing room, we all together want to find the solution. It's hard because a lot of emotion, a lot of stress from outside and this, but still we must find the way out, and we must find as soon as possible, of course.
Okay, they must find a way as soon as possible. There's a lot of new players in there, and there'll be, I would imagine, even more new players coming in the summer, Ruffy.
Yeah, I would think so. But it seems to be the modern thing now. When things aren't going well, you get the players in the dressing room and you sit down and you have a wee chin wag about what's going wrong. In my day, as I said to you, that usually ended up in a fight. But I think players have got a wee bit more realistic now, and it's as long as there's no pointing of fingers and it's constructive, and I don't mind that, but it's when it gets a wee bit out of hand.
Well, I sometimes think people make glib statements, just broad generalisations. Let me ask you this, Nicky Devlin. Does Ian McCall have a go at you, shout at you, and would you take the huff? Does the modern day player take the huff because a manager shouts at him?
I think probably a lot of modern players do, but it shouldn't be the case. If someone's having a go at you, even if it's a teammate, having a go because they want to win as well. If you follow it on the park, you end up, maybe if you do have a fight in the dressing room, it's because you want to win. It's not because, at least suppose it shows you care, rather than if someone's shouting at you, you just give them nothing back and just accept it. Probably better, having a go back as well, because you both want to win. Both want to win the game.
Yeah, you dodged that brilliantly. do you go in the huff when he gives you pelters?
I don't. To be fair, I'm probably one of the ones that probably doesn't take it too well when someone shouts at you. But as I said,
I didn't actually mean the manager. If the manager's having the chat, fair enough, you've got to accept that. It's when you leave the players and the forwards go to the defence, you get your finger out here, and they're saying, well, you're not scoring any goals, and then it just becomes a free-for-all.
I think what you're talking about is the Joey Barton situation earlier in the season, rather than anything else. Listen, before we go, I've got to ask you, your manager's been glowing in his praise of your performances, and certainly, we've mentioned a couple of clubs, Hearts, Dundee United, others sniffing around, having a look at you. It's clear this is the perfect time, your manager's well aware of it, that, this could be a great season for you to make a step up.
Yeah, it might kind of well do. I think I'm probably at a good age to maybe be looking to go back full time again, and it's something I do want to do. I do want to play full-time football, and I mean, if that's with Ayr United next year, it would be brilliant. But if not, then maybe do need to look elsewhere. But it's one of them where we're in a bit of a position now ourselves to not be concentrating on anything else other than, you know what I mean, trying to stay in the division, and obviously a big game on Saturday as well to concentrate on.
Yeah, and just briefly, do you feel vindicated? And I'm not suggesting it's a huge step back in United, but it's a step that may well take you forward.
Yeah, it might well do. I think, you know what I mean, Ayr United have been brilliant for me, and I would like to think I've done well for Ayr United as well. You know what I mean? And this is my third season, but the 2 seasons we've been in, you know what I mean, we've managed to get promotion, kind of, which is good for the club. So I'd like to think, you know what I mean, if I was to move on, I'd go with Ayer's kind of blessing, the fans' blessing as well.
Yeah, absolutely. And if we have anything to do with it, Ruffy, we'll get a slice of the transfer fee as well, because we have really pushed them out the door. The gaffer won't be happy unless it's a 6 or 7 figure fee. Thanks to Nicky Devlin. We wish you well for the rest of the season. Good night.